The first thing I noticed was the smell, sterile, sharp, and oddly sweet, like lavender soaked in ethanol. The second was the weight pressing into my chest, as though gravity itself had grown heavier overnight. I blinked, my eyelids sluggish and heavy, until the blur of lights above became distinct. The ceiling curved in a dome of pale metal, etched with softly glowing lines that pulsed like veins. I tried to sit up, but a hand pushed me gently back down. "Careful," a voice said, smooth, melodic, and not quite human. I turned my head. That was when I saw her. She was tall, impossibly slender, with skin the color of warm copper lit faintly from within. Her hair, or something resembling hair, spilled around her shoulders in fine silken strands that shifted hues as if catching invisible light. Her eyes were the strangest of all, vast and luminous, with irises like shifting galaxies. She wore a uniform, white, close-fitting, marked with symbols I didn't recognize. An alien nurse. I froze, unsure whether to panic or laugh. "You are safe," she said calmly, her mouth curving into a smile that revealed no sharpness, no fangs, only reassurance. "You were rescued. Your body was broken. We repaired it." My throat felt like sandpaper. "Where am I?" croaked. "In the care of the Eris Medical Corps," she answered. "My name is Leora. I am assigned to you." I tried to process that. The last thing I remembered was the freighter Solace running a desperate cargo run past the edge of a war zone. Raiders, pirates maybe, had attacked, and I'd been thrown against the bulkhead when the hull ruptured. After that, nothing. So I should have been dead. "Assigned?" I asked warily. "Yes." Her voice softened. "To ensure you survive." The beginning. Days blurred into one another, measured not by Earth's 24-hour cycle but by the steady rhythm of the Eris ship. I couldn't tell if it was day or night. The room was lit with a constant dim glow, and the air was always the same cool temperature. Leora stayed by my side. Always calm, always patient. She checked monitors that hummed with incomprehensible displays, replaced nutrient fluids through tubes I didn't want to think too hard about, and adjusted the regeneration field that buzzed faintly across my chest where my ribs had been shattered. At first, I barely spoke to her. My human instincts screamed caution. I had no idea if her people were allies, enemies, or something else entirely. Yet, she never once threatened me. Instead, she talked in a quiet, soothing tone about simple things. The healing process, how long it might take before I could walk again, and even what the stars looked like from their vessel's observation dome. The strangest part was how she looked at me. Not as a specimen or a burden, but as a person. One cycle, when I drifted half asleep, I felt her nearby. My lips moved on their own, murmuring nonsense dreams. When I blinked awake, embarrassed, she only smiled. "You talked in your sleep," she said, voice filled with amusement rather than judgment. That was the first time I laughed in what felt like forever. The middle. Recovery was slow. Weeks passed, at least I think they were weeks. The Eris ship was vast, and Leora eventually guided me beyond the infirmary, though never far. She supported me as I learned to walk again. Her touch was warm, steadying. I began to learn about her people. The Eris were healers and wanderers, bound by an oath to preserve life wherever they found it. Their ships roamed star systems offering aid, though not everyone welcomed them. Some saw their presence as interference. Others whispered that the Eris had motives hidden behind their kindness. "Do you?" I asked her one cycle when we rested in a quiet observation lounge, the stars stretching endless beyond a crystal viewport. "Do we what?" "Have hidden motives." Her galaxy eyes met mine. For a long moment she didn't answer. Finally she said, "Every species has motives. We seek balance, healing, Sometimes that requires choices others disagree with. It wasn't exactly comforting, but it was honest. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that her kindness was personal. She lingered when she didn't need to. She laughed at my clumsy human jokes. Once, when I stumbled harder than usual, she caught me, holding me close until my breath returned. For an instant, I felt her heartbeat racing as fast as mine. I shouldn't have noticed, but I did. One cycle, the piece shattered. A siren blared, vibrating through the walls. The ship shook. I stumbled, nearly falling before Leora pulled me upright. Her expression was sharp now, no longer serene. "What's happening?" I demanded. "Raiders," she said tersely. "The ones who destroyed your freighter. They have tracked us." My stomach turned cold. The infirmary transformed into chaos. Eris crew moved with swift precision, sealing bulkheads, preparing defenses. But the raiders were relentless. Explosions rocked the vessel. I could feel it. This wasn't just another skirmish. If the Eris lost, I would be recaptured or worse. "Stay here," Leora ordered, starting toward the door. "No," I snapped, surprising even myself. "I'm coming with you. You are not fully healed. Neither are you if something happens out there. I won't lie here useless." For the first time, her perfect composure cracked. She looked at me, torn between protest and something else. Finally she nodded. "Then stay close." The corridors became a battlefield. Raider drones sliced through bulkheads, spewing plasma fire. Eris defenders used strange weapons that pulsed streams of contained energy, neutralizing machines rather than destroying them. I grabbed what I could, a metal rod, crude but solid. My human muscles weren't at full strength, but adrenaline burned through the weakness. We fought side by side. Leora moved like flowing water, precise and lethal in her grace. I was clumsy but stubborn, bashing drones apart when they closed in too close. At one point, a drone aimed at her back. Instinct took over. I lunged, slamming the rod into its core until sparks erupted. She spun, eyes wide. For a heartbeat, we just stared at each other, breathing hard. "You saved me," she whispered. Before I could answer, more raiders swarmed. The battle ended only when the Eris ship unleashed some kind of shockwave, scattering the enemy forces. Silence fell, broken only by alarms and the distant hiss of sealing systems. We stood there, bruised, scorched, but alive. The turning point. Afterward, the ship limped into safer space. Repairs began. I returned to the infirmary, this time less as a patient and more as something else. Leora stayed with me still. But the way she looked at me had changed. Not with clinical detachment. Not even with casual kindness. There was warmth there now, unmistakable. One cycle, when the room was quiet and the hum of machines seemed far away, she sat beside me. Her hand brushed mine, tentative. "In your sleep," she said softly. "You spoke again." Heat rose in my face. What did I say? She smiled, eyes shimmering. "My name." I swallowed hard. I didn't mean to. "I know." She tilted her head. "But I am glad." The silence that followed was thick, fragile. My heart pounded. I wanted to say more, but words failed me. Instead, I simply let my fingers entwine with hers. She didn't pull away. The ending. Eventually, the Eris completed repairs. Their ship prepared to move on, deeper into the galaxy. For me, that meant a choice. Disembark at the next safe colony or stay.